Well, good morning, fastball fans, and welcome to Friday here at the 2024 ISC World Tournament. Toronto Batmen and Hill United Chiefs. In these games, you've got to win to stay in.
Very important from here on in. You have to be at your best.
Blair Setford, Joe Todd on the ISC network. We've got 4 great games for you here today, starting with an all-Ontario matchup. Hill United Chiefs from Oswego, Ontario, Toronto, Ontario Batmen. Familiar foes, Joe Todd. There you see the lineup for the visiting Toronto Batmen. And that's Ty Sebastian, not Y Sebastian. He'll be doing all of the pitching for the Batmen today. Classic matchup, Joe. Hill United came off a very raw defeat. You see the defense for the Hill United Chiefs. It's the familiar lineup. One change, Lukey Biondi in left field for the Chiefs. Lucci into the lineup in place of Alan Pecker. And Joe, I wonder about a reoccurrence of that thigh injury, but he's been struggling here this week as well. Roman Godoy gets the start for the Chiefs. And again, I kind of thought this one would be the obvious choice. Godoy fresh. He hasn't worked in a couple of days. Marco Diaz, tough loss last night in the bottom of the 7th. They took a 3-2 lead against the Drillers, and it all came unraveled.
Yes, it really was a heartbreaking loss for the Hill United team. Very tough. Took one pitch, was a wild pitch, and then a real infield bounce over second baseman
Lenny Villavazzo.
Lenny Villavazzo, and that was the ball game, really. And then Nick Shales had a little small boot.
Well, Nick had one play. Which was to barehand it.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't find the handle on it. Nick was so disconsolate after the game. We ended up walking out towards their bus at the same time, and I asked him about the bounce to Lenny, and he said it just hit something. And he really didn't feel like talking after that, so I left him to his silence. But a real heartbreaker of a loss for the Chiefs. There were a lot of long faces getting on that bus. Fair ball right into the hands of Tony Gonzalez. So Mason McKay, the leadoff batter for the Batmen, down 3 unassisted. And we are officially underway, Joe Todd, on win to stay in day here in the ISC World Tournament.
Running a few minutes late, but not bad. 13. Started, first pitch was 11-13.
Ty Sebastian picked up 2 pitching wins, another 2 pitching wins for the Batmen yesterday. I think he had 24 strikeouts across the 2 games. He'll get the start for Toronto here today. Time called. And the question I'll have, Joe, is what's Ty got left in the tank?
Yeah, he's had a real good week, but they've also played 6 games. Almost played well. They played Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and 2 on Thursday.
Small tweaks to the ISC schedule over the 2024 World Tournament, where it used to be you would play 2 on Friday and then 3 on Saturday to come through the losers bracket. With some of the adjustments that were made, it's only 1 game today. It was 2 yesterday, 1 today, and then the 3 tomorrow if you get into all the way to the championship game.
I like that format a lot better.
It's a little bit less of a gauntlet. It's still tough, that's for sure, but to go from 1 to 2 to 3 on the final 3 days certainly was a lot to ask of any team. Certainly it's been done as well. High hopper on the infield. Lenny Villavazzo goes back and gets this one at the edge of the grass. 2 down for the Batmen. That'll bring up Corey Way, the left fielder for Toronto. A couple of minor changes for the Batmen. Johnny Baker in at third base for Toronto. That's really the only significant change for the Batmen. Owen Torrey has been at third. Johnny Baker will be there today. Fouled straight back to the screen.
Surprised at all Blair on the start on Roman Godoy, or
not in the least. I thought that was the logical choice for the Chiefs again after that heartbreaker of a loss last night. Another chopper in the infield. Lenny Villavazzo comes to get that one. 3 groundouts for Roman Godoy in the top of the first. Hill United will come to the plate in the home half. Just underway on the ISC network. First of 4 today. Well hit, deep right field. It's curving. This one, well hit to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Bettsgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Start spreading the news, Joe Todd. It's New York, New York. Bottom of the first inning for the Hill United Chiefs. Leading things off, as ever, Shane Boland, Brad Ezekiel, Nick Shales. They're the first 3 batters for the Chiefs. You see the rest of the lineup there. Luki Biondi at the bottom is in for Alan Pecker. Defensively for Toronto Batman, left to right, Corey Way, Mason McKay, Denny Benson, and then around the horn, Johnny Baker, Zach Berg, Andy Skelton, Ike Whetstone at first. Ty Sebastian having a whale of a tournament. I think at the end of the week here, Joe, he'll be collecting, my guess at least anyway, he'll be collecting another all-world plaque. Derek Hyde behind the plate. Cody Skelton is the designated player. Upstairs, ball 1 for Ty Sebastian, and first pitch, kind of flexing that shoulder, rotating that shoulder a little bit. He's thrown a lot of innings here this week. It's a grind for the Aces. And Ty Randerson has thrown a little bit. Dustin Veenhoff has thrown a little bit, but by far the bulk of the innings this week for Toronto, it has been Ty Sebastian.
I bet you he's sleeping well at night. Or hopefully anyway.
Yeah, let's hope so. Line shot just foul. And some fancy footwork down there by Daryl Helmer to get out of the way. Joe, who do you got for the umpires tonight?
On the home plate, Mark Corris and from Prescott, Arizona. First base is Glenn Brown from Oak Harbor, Washington. And at third base, as you just mentioned, Daryl Helmer from Airdrie, Alberta.
Well, Ty already displeased with that call. Didn't take long.
No.
4 pitches in. Didn't like the call. Three and 1 to the leadoff batter for the Hill United Chiefs. They're the ones in burgundy. Toronto in purple with gold. Joe, we might have a play on this one when it comes back. I'm not kidding. Oh, it's gone off to our left.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, last night a scary moment as a ball came roaring into the stands just in front of us here from the other diamond, and it actually struck Robbie Schweier, good friend of ours, Robbie Schweier, in the back of the head, and it literally knocked him unconscious for a couple of seconds. Ball 4 downstairs to Shane Boland. Robbie ultimately recovered, but you were talking to him on our way out. He said he had a wicked headache.
Yeah, he said he had a wicked headache, but feeling a little bit of pain, but I just recommended he not take too much of the Tylenol.
Dr. Joe. Bradley Ezekiel last night got untracked. He rocked one off the top of the scoreboard.
One of those players that really rise to the occasion on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the World Tournament.
Yeah, he often does. That was a rocket off the bat of Bradley.
There's that pitching or hitting stance there. Whoa.
This one well hit to center left on the run and making the grab, Mason McKay, who covers a lot of ground for Toronto. And very alertly, because of his momentum, was going to take him on the run. Shane Boland tags up and scoots up to second base. That's a great heads-up baseball play by Shane.
And a great range there by Mason McKay to get across and get that ball.
But he's on the run and isn't in a position to make the throw. You see, it's 4, 5, 6 steps before he can stop, plant, and throw. And just enough for Shane Boland to scamper up to second.
McKay covers a lot of ground in center field.
Nick Shales, ground ball. Johnny Baker looks Boland back to second base, turns and throws a strike to Whetstone at first, and not as easy as that looks.
No, that's a tough play because he's making the motion towards the pitcher side and picking that ball up, step and throw, and a good gun over to first base.
Bruno Matroni having a good tournament, Joe. I wouldn't say great, but having a good tournament.
They call on him for the defensive side of the game, show the leadership behind the plate.
Certainly plenty of that from Bruno, as always, as you would expect. You have to be careful with Bruno. His bat is so quick through the zone. He can get to the inside pitch, but can also take the outside pitch the opposite way. Just off the outside corner.
3 balls now. Would you give Bruno the green light here in this situation?
Why not?
Sure.
As you like to say, why not?
Yep. Ty Sebastian has to be very careful with this pitch. Got to pick a corner. Either high in the strike zone or low.
Well, it's high, but it's eye high. And the second walk of the inning, Bruno Matroni. And he'll have to deal with Quentin Bruce. Bruce, bat waggles, well hit, and forget about it. Forget about it. Into the trees. First pitch, home run, a 3-run home run, and that puts the Hill United Chiefs into a rocket start, Joe Todd. Quentin Bruce delivers.
Takes that first pitch and drives it out of the park. Got it square. Ty Sebastian got too much of that plate. With the strength of Quentin Bruce and his upper body, drove it out of the ballpark.
A 3-run home run, an absolute no-doubter. Sometimes, Joe, you just watch the fielders. Denny Benson never moved a muscle.
2 walks will kill you.
Both of the walks come around to score, and still have to deal with Lenny Villavazzo. And as much as that's a lift for this Hill United team, Joe, who needed it after last night's, let's call it a crushing loss in the bottom of the 7th inning last night, that's a real heartbreaker early for the Toronto Batmen, too. They played Hill United a couple of times this year to an absolute standstill. I go back to mid-June in the Canada East qualifier, the championship game between these two teams, and that was a 1-0 ball game. This one is lifted up into foul territory. Over near the fence, Ike Whetstone will pull it down for the final out. But Hill United strike for 3 off the bat of Quentin Bruce. Denny Benson, Andy Skelton, Ike Whetstone for the Batmen. And Joe, now you've got to press a little bit. You do have to chip away, of course. You don't want to feel that pressure, but it's there now in the back of your mind that, boy, we got to get some base hits. We can't just let Roman Godoy get into a rhythm here.
Yeah, got to stick away. Get 1 run, get 2 runs, get a couple hits, put something together.
Joe, I know you've got some business to take care of. Why don't we let you do that?
Okay, thank you.
Denny Benson, a little flare out to the grass, but Shane Boland will range back 3-4 steps to pull that on or off. Or down. Andy Skelton, Bruno Matroni exchanging some pleasantries there this morning. A lot of rivalries on the field, a lot of friendships off the field. Just off the outside corner. Andy's been away from the game for a couple of years as he's been heavily involved in the Skelton trucking business. Spends a lot of time developing the company business. But rejoined the Batmen at the Tavistock tournament back in mid-July and has played a couple of events with them since. And, well, you go back to the early mid-2010s, 2010s, and Andy, one of the most feared sticks in the game. Off the outside corner. Full count to Andy Skelton, one down here in the top of the second inning. If you're just getting in with us on the ISC network at about 11:43 on a Friday morning still here in Surrey, British Columbia. It's overcast, around 19 degrees Celsius, expected to warm up by another couple of degrees here today. We're at beautiful Softball City. Fantastic purpose-built facility for softball tournaments. First time that they've hosted the ISC World Tournament, and I really hope that we're going to be back here again in the future. It's just been a fabulous week. High hopper, Tony Gonzalez. Boy, they don't come much easier than that if you're a third baseman. Two down, Ike Whetstone to Toronto. The games here all week have been fantastic. The players, to a man, have been raving about this facility and all of the amenities that are here. A full-service bar and restaurant right on the grounds. 4 immaculate diamonds. Plenty of access to practice facilities. We had a wonderful ISC Hall of Fame breakfast here on Sunday morning. We've just been treated fabulously by the host committee, headed up by Greg Tim, Brian Eridis, who's been the right-hand man for the World Tournament Committee here this week. Down on strikes goes Ike Whetstone. First of the morning still for Roman Godoy. Hill United Chiefs will come back up in the home half of the second inning. A 3-0 lead, courtesy of a Quentin Bruce big home run.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
Well, there's a look at our 2 starting pitchers for our morning game. Ty Sebastian on the left for the Toronto Batmen, Roman Godoy. Both of those gentlemen had perfect games in the opening events. Tony Gonzalez gets into this one high and deep and gone. I'm seeing the home run signal from Darryl Helmer. Mason McKay disappeared over the fence at the same time as the ball, but he did not come up with it. A solo shot for Tony Gonzalez. It's now 4-0 for the Hill United Chiefs. Watch Mason McKay. Now you see him, and now you don't, and you just caught a glimpse of the ball as it bounced up momentarily back into the frame. Pipolo Lopez had himself a night last night. A triple, robbed of a home run, and got robbed again later. Now, I haven't seen anything on social media this morning, but boy, he had a moment trying to leg out that triple, too. You may have seen it on the broadcast last night with Peter Labardius and myself. Pipolo coming around second into third, about 10 feet from third base. Suffered a tire blowout and had a bit of an awkward moment, let's call it, getting to the bag. Lifted high on the infield. Zach Berg will gather that up for the first out of the inning.
Right fielder number 34, Richie Biondi.
Luchi Biondi getting into the lineup for Hill United. Alan Pecker comes out, drops down a bunt. They'll be hard-pressed to get him. Ty Sebastian tries to spank the ball towards first base, but to no avail. Biondi runs exceptionally well. And we've been talking all week about the next gen of players. Biondi is one of those guys that is solidly in that category. Back to the top of the shop for Shane Boland. And this one is lifted high in the air as well. Another one for Zach Berg. One step out in the grass. Makes the catch. And Brad Ezekiel, if you get a chance, track down last night's game and the home run that Brad Ezekiel hit in the third inning. An absolute rocket. On the move is Biondi. It's not even worth the throw for catcher Derek Hyde. He got a massive jump, and he runs so well. Just off the plate, ball two. And to be fair to Derek Hyde, that was not going to be the easiest pitch to throw either. Didn't get any help. So Biondi in scoring position for Brad Ezekiel. The Chiefs looking to build on this already 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Brad Ezekiel taking all the way, and ball four, a four-pitch walk to the center fielder for the Chiefs. And the way that he has been going, maybe not a bad idea to start fresh with Nick Shales. Shales a two-hopper to Johnny Baker in his first at-bat. Swing and a miss to the screen off the glove of Derek Hyde, and that'll move everybody up 60 feet. And now both runners in scoring position. Shales having a tough week. Really trying to get untracked for the Chiefs in the 3 spot. but he's always so dangerous at the plate. Chases this one out and away, fouls it back to the screen for strike 2. And that's been the nemesis for Nick here this week, is going after that outside and high rise ball. And he knows, he's aware that that's a pitch that he struggles with. When you listen to the Dust Up podcast, and he talks about that, that's been a pitch over the years that he has not been able to lay off of effectively. They went upstairs again, fouls it off. Do this one more time. They go way off the plate. Nick Shales, of course, is not going to chase that one that far. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third, and they go upstairs again. Can't get Shales to chase, so even up the count at 2s. Hyde will go out and talk to Sebastian on strategy for the next pitch or two. The Chiefs off to a running start, courtesy of a Quentin Bruce 3-run home run. 2 walks, one to Shane Bolin, one to Bruno Matroni, came around to score. And a rise ball up and in, and Shales lays off that. And from 0-2 to 3-2. Back to that outside corner, and Shales fouls that one off to the screen. Action in the Toronto bullpen. Ty Randerson up and throwing. He's been the next guy up for Toronto all week. Chopped on the ground. Baker over to first for the final out of the inning. Shales yanking that pitch down the third base side. The Chiefs add 1 on a solo shot by Tony Gonzalez. Now 4-0 for Hill United through 2 complete.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
For the best bear tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Cody Skelton for Toronto, the founder of this Batmen team about 10 years ago now. They've had some different iterations over the years. They've settled the last couple on an all-Ontario lineup, and it has paid dividends for them. They're into the final 6 here at the ISC World Tournament. They're the defending Canadian champions, a title won right here at this very facility on Labor Day weekend in 2023. Just off the outside corner. Skelton, Derek Hyde, and Johnny Baker, 7-8-9 for the Batmen. And want to say hello to Lee Jacques, good friend Lee Jacques, back in Owen Sound, Ontario. Been the coach for the Batmen, and one hopper to Nick Shales. And boy, they come with a bow on it today for the Chiefs infield. But Lee came down ill in the last couple of weeks and unable to make the trip out with the Batmen. Want to wish you well, Lee. I know you're watching. And thanks for the note that you sent back the other day. Derek Hyde. Just off the outside corner. Bruno Matroni held it there for an extra second, but despite all the framing, I've never seen an umpire decide to change his mind. Another high hopper, another one with a bow on it, this one for Lenny Villavazzo. Now, Lenny was victimized by one of the only bad hops we've seen here all night, or all week rather. What looked like it was going to be an easy 2-hopper to Lenny Villavazzo. The second hop went over his head. Marshall Cronk was the beneficiary of that high hop. Cam Schiller went first to third on the play, and he ultimately scored on a squib down the line. And that was the difference in the ballgame. Hill United took a 3-2 lead into the bottom of the 7th, but the Drillers right back up the middle for Johnny Baker. First hit, first base runner for Toronto, bottom of the 3rd inning. As we reach high noon in Surrey, BC, Pacific time, I want to say good afternoon to all of our friends back in the Eastern time zone and wherever you are around the world. Thank you for joining us here on the ISC network. Blair Setford, Joe Todd is off doing some official ISC duties. Peter Labardius will be in here on the next game. That'll be between JB and the Bear Creek Express, and we'll see how Bear Creek rebound after yesterday's debacle with the New York Gremlins. McKay grounded out on a high hopper to Tony Gonzalez. Been a lot of those today on the infield, and the Chiefs infield has been quite receptive to them. Swing and a miss, just the second strikeout of the game for Roman Godoy, but it comes at an opportune time to end the top of the 3rd inning. We'll go to the home half. Chiefs out in front by 4 and looking to add more.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
There's our new pitcher, Tyler Randerson, on for Ty Sebastian. Ty gives up 4 runs on 3 hits. Quentin Bruce and Tony Gonzalez, the big blows for the Hill United Chiefs. Bruce, a 3-run home run in the first. Tony Gonzalez, a solo shot leading off the second. It was the 2 walks that were on board for the Bruce at bat that were a big difference. Shane Boland worked a leadoff walk. Bruno Matroni, a 4-pitch walk immediately prior to the Quentin Bruce home run. So a couple of other defensive changes too. Sebastian stays in the game. Clearly you want his bat. He went to short. Randerson will become the flex player in place of Zach Berg. Matroni, first pitch swinging, pop up on the infield. Andy Skelton will put that away for the first out. We talked about that Canada East Championship game back in June. Now, that's a lot of water under the bridge since then. But Ty Randerson pitched that game for Toronto, and that was a 1-0 affair all the way through. Hill United winning their first Canada East Championship at the time. Quentin Bruce, big fly in the first. A ground ball in the second. Andy Skelton, a busy guy over there for the first 2 batters. And Ty Randerson now has an opportunity to tie the record. If he can get Lenny Villavazzo on the first pitch, it'll be 3 pitches and 3 outs. And nope, we won't get a record here this inning. Villavazzo was number 2 on the list of top 10 hitters compiled by our good friend Luciano Lafrano in the Softball Premier post immediately prior to the World Tournament, and nobody has seen more games than Luciano this summer. 2-1 as Randerson gets a strike on Lenny Villavazzo. The pop that this young man has in his bat is tremendous. Line shot. Andy Skelton gets all 3 outs this inning. A fly ball, a ground out, and a line shot. A 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Randerson and the Batmen in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And we'll see if that's a little pick-me-up for them heading into the 4th.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the...
It'll be Ty Sebastian, Corey Way, Denny Benson. 2-3-4 for Toronto. And after a good clean inning, can they build on that offensively? Johnny Baker broke up the no-hitter. Roman Godoy was perfect through 8 batters and then roared right back to get a strikeout on Mason McKay to end the third. Keeping an eye on the loser bracket final in ISC 2 play, Midland Explorers were 7-5 winners earlier this morning over the Steveston Canadians, knocking out the BC team. They're currently trailing 1-0 to the Georgian Bay Giants. And the winner of that game will go on to meet the Sydney Tropics here on Diamond 1 at 3 p.m. scheduled start time. We'll bring that one to you here on the ISC Network. Just off the outside corner, Roman Godoy thinking that that was pretty close. 3-1 to Sebastian. Fouls that straight back to the screen. Godoy just at 41 pitches here in the fourth, so a very efficient outing so far for the right-hander from Paraná in Argentina. Shakes 1, shakes 2, then nods in agreement. This one well hit to right field. Going back and one hop and over the fence. A tough break for Ty Sebastian. Biondi looked a little frozen in place at first before starting back. And maybe a break for the Chiefs, as that surely was going to be 3 bases for Ty Sebastian. Corey Way. We'll see if he can find a way to bring Sebastian around. And for a Friday morning here in Surrey, well, we're just into the afternoon at 12:11 p.m. Starting to amass some crowd here. Swing and a miss on the outside corner. We had a big crowd here for the 6 p.m. game last night, the New York Gremlins, Bear Creek Express. Unfortunately, a bit of a disappointing game unless you're a New York Gremlin fan, as they ran away with that one big time. The nightcap was an outstanding ball game between the Hill United Chiefs and the Northeast Drillers. We'll look for more exciting action tonight. It will be the Drillers and the Gremlins. 6 p.m. scheduled start time, the winner bracket final. You win that game, you go directly to the ISC championship game. You did not pass go. Corey Way rung up on the inside corner. Sorry, not rung up. Called a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Way. And we'll make it a full count as that one misses off the outside corner. Way grounded out to Villavazo back in the first. And a long time at the set position for Godoy before delivering that pitch, and fouled off by Corey Way. Godoy has slowed the pace right down here in the fourth after the leadoff double by Ty Sebastian. Much more deliberate. And Way fouled that back to the screen and had a good cut at that offering from Godoy. I think maybe he got a little too much of the plate and got away with one there. That's flared down the right side, but that'll fall just beside the fence. Biondi gives chase, but that was always going to be out of range. The sun's starting to just break through the clouds here, and we're looking for maybe a bit more sunny of an afternoon here in Surrey, British Columbia, Softball City. Chopper on the infield stays true for Boland, and he fires across the diamond for the first out of the inning. That second hop is always something where you got to keep your heart in your mouth and make sure that, boy, you stay in front of it. Sometimes it's a little unpredictable. Right fielder Denny Benson certainly has the power to change the score. Called a strike on that outside corner. And make it 0-2 as Ramon Godoy pours in a couple of strikes on Denny Benson. Just off the outside corner, can't get Benson to bite. A real good nibble out there by Ramon Godoy. Lenny Viavazo playing rather tight at second base. Boland is back. Shales is back on the left side. And that is right down Main Street for strike three. Whatever Denny Benson was looking for, that was not it. Could not get the bat off the shoulder.
Next up, second base, number 37, Andy Skelton.
Andy Skelton for Toronto now. Ty Sebastian doubled leading off the inning, but a ground out and strikeout looking. Toronto doesn't want to waste that double. Godoy continues to do a good job of mixing up the pitches. Hasn't thrown a lot of rise balls. Primarily, it's been drops in and out. Haven't seen too much of the change, and he's got a real good changeup too. Ground ball to Shales. He'll flip across for the final out, and the Batmen do indeed strand that leadoff double. Ramon Godoy continues to get ground ball after ground ball, and things look pretty good for the Argentine right-hander and the Hill United Chiefs. We'll go to the bottom half of the fourth. Chiefs enjoying this 4-0 lead.
catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Tony Gonzalez, a solo home run leading off the second inning. He'll lead off again here in the fourth. Lifts this one up to center field. McKay will be able to play this one on the right side of the fence this time. And Ty Randerson has been very efficient since coming in. A lot of first pitch swinging. Coming into the game, Randerson had 7 1/3 innings pitched. He picked up 1 win, 6 hits, 3 runs against, 10 strikeouts for Tyler Randerson. In for a strike on Pipolo Lopez. Swing and a miss. Lopez underneath. Upstairs from Tyler Randerson. Good rise ball, a good change. When he can get guys to chase the rise ball is when he's at his best. Similar in that regard to Ty Sebastian. This one's lifted up in behind first base. Andy Skelton will go get that a dozen steps onto the grass for the second out, right at the foul line. Luchi Bionde reached on a bunt single, stole second, stranded at third. That was back in the second inning. And here's the slap defense. Ty Sebastian, the shortstop, is over immediately to Randerson's left. Andy Skelton has switched over to the shortstop position. You see it there on the screen. Great look at the slap defense that they're employing here against Biondi. Creeping in is Baker from third, and full swing, fouled straight back to the screen. And these are the things that you need to do to defense the pure speed that Luchi Biondi brings to the game. Pours in a strike to run the count to 1-2. The pressure on Sebastian here is that you've got very little time to react to any hard hit ball. He takes a couple of steps back. Little excuse me check swing down the left field line, and coming in to make the grab is Corey Way. So the second clean inning in a row from Tyler Randerson. He has come in and shut the door in his 2 innings of relief so far. Batmen coming back up. Early is starting to get late. We're going to the top of the 5th.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
Alan Pecker enters the game defensively out in right field. So Biondi gets half the game. Pecker will get the latter half. Ike Whetstone at the plate for Toronto, called out on strikes in the second. Ike batting .263 for the tournament. Had a memorable home run in the 5-1 loss to the Oma Tigre. That was really the only highlight of the game for the Batmen. Five for 19. He's got a double and a triple to go along with the home run and 3 RBIs for Toronto. Batmen need to bunch some hits together. Only 2 on the afternoon so far. Johnny Baker, a single in the 3rd. Ty Sebastian, a leadoff double in the 4th. Nobody has been able to do anything around those 2. Ramon Godoy has had it under control. Only 3 strikeouts so far for Godoy. Make it 4 as down on strikes again goes Ike Whetstone. But it's been ground ball, ground ball, ground ball. Toronto, other than Denny Benson, who lifted one up to Shane Boland, nobody else has been able to get the ball into the air. Eight ground ball outs for Ramon Godoy so far today. Cody Skelton grounded out to Nick Shales. That was in the 3rd. Cody 4 for 16, 250. 3 singles and a triple, along with an RBI for Cody. Cody, Andy, Mike, and Cheryl Skelton, great friends of the broadcast program, and we're happy to have them along as partners with us this week and all season long, and certainly we thank them for their ongoing and generous support. The sun breaks out over Diamond 1 here at Softball City. A little excuse me check swing, and that's right into the glove of Nick Shales. Boy, the fastball gods are paying the Chiefs back in spades today for that fluke hop that went over the head of Lenny Villavazzo last night. Every hop has gone their way today. Derek Hyde, grounded out to second, rather, in the 3rd inning. Hyde, the catcher for Toronto. Hyde's 4 for 15, 267. Just off the outside corner. And now clean up the ball here for Bruno. Now we're tightening up the mask for Bruno is what it is. Tony Gonzalez. You can see him there on the right side of your screen doing equipment repairman duties in addition to everything else that Tony Gonzalez does. He's the equipment manager. Two and one to Hyde as we get reset upstairs, make it 3-1. And ball 4, Derek Hyde works a 2-out walk. We should see somebody back out to run, and Cody Skelton's got the bucket on, and he'll come back to run for Derek Hyde. This is the 2-out catcher rule. It's mandatory. Baker broke up the no-hit bid in the third with a single and lifts this one up to short right. It's a long run, but Lenny Villavazzo makes the grab. 15 steps out onto the grass over by the foul line. Toronto leave another runner aboard. That's 3 in the last 3 innings. Ramon Godoy got this one in hand.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Mattiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Mr. Ned, one of the sponsors, longtime sponsors here on the ISC network, and Var Matiosian, wish you well. I know you're watching back at home in New Jersey, and Wish you were here, and I know you do as well. Miss seeing you, and we'll catch up to you soon. Shane Boland walked and scored back in the first, popped up in the second. And a changeup from Randerson, surprisingly judged to have not gone around. Glenn Brown down at first base. Mark Corris is behind the plate, and Darryl Helmer is out at third base. Ty Randerson, flawless in his first 2 innings of relief. Came on in the third. Tough start for Ty Sebastian. Ty, 2 games yesterday, did the bulk of the pitching. Randerson, a couple of innings in relief, but by and large, it was Ty Sebastian yesterday, and just out of gas here this morning. Hurt by a couple of walks and the long ball. But looking at the stats line here for Ty Sebastian, 3-1, likely might end up 3-2 depending on how this one finishes. But the remarkable part for me for Ty Sebastian is 32 1/3 innings pitched, 70 strikeouts, over 2 per inning. So Boland down on the fly ball. Brad Ezekiel. A fly out and a walk. Randerson just misses. Coming up next, JB and Bear Creek. Bear Creek on the tough side of a harsh loss yesterday. JB won 2 thrillers, 2 walk-off wins, one in the bottom of the 7th, another in the bottom of the 8th, as they knocked off the AWP Lumberjacks and the Circle Tap Dukes. Sorry, not Circle Tap. Yes, Circle Tap. Ezekiel fouls this one off, and Nick Shales, who's standing in the on-deck circle as that one bounded his way, took a swing at it. Not a hard one, but would have been just enough to deflect it back into the field. And that one will make its way off of one stanchion and almost bounded into another section of the bleachers here. Bradley Ezekiel staying alive in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good battle between he and Tyler Randerson. Line shot, and that is foul right into the glove of Marco Diaz, who is down in the Chiefs' bullpen. Roman Godoy has had this one completely and entirely in hand. I got to think that this is nothing more than off-day throwing for Marco Diaz. Poked past Johnny Baker at third base. Bradley Ezekiel just reach out, flick the wrists, and pulls that one down the line. Watch this on the replay. The bat control by Brad Ezekiel. Just to snap this down the third base line. Just reaches out and pokes it past Baker, who is playing, it's got to be said, well off the line. Way out in the other batter's box almost. Bradley Ezekiel able to pull that and get aboard with a base hit. Boy, that is some good hitting off the bat of Bradley Ezekiel. Nick White comes on to run for Ezekiel here in the fifth. He's a jackrabbit on the bases. Got the oven mitt on his left hand. On the move and a bluff. Got me and just about everybody else with that running start. Nick a pair of ground balls to Johnny Baker. Baker is 8 feet off the line. Shales shows bunt. Here's the throw from Hyde. It's high, and easily into second base goes Nick White with a stolen base. It was almost predictable that he was going to be going within the first 2 or 3 pitches. Jeff Ellsworth, very aggressive when he gets these speedsters on the bases. He's got White, he's got Tyler Branshaw, who is now still available. Kyle Ezekiel and Josh McGovern still available for pinch hit duties should they be needed. Randerson ahead, 1-2 on Nick Shales. And while he's here, I want to thank Nick Shales for his ongoing sponsorship support, too, of the broadcast program with both Lumberjack Sports and HRD Batco, 2 of Nick's business ventures. One ball, 2 strikes again. Randerson with the big lean. And Shales tries to take that outside offering the other way, but that'll end up down in the souvenir tent. What was an overcast morning is turning into an absolutely stellar afternoon here in Softball City. High hopper, but that'll one go foul as well. Nick Shales, tough battle here with Tyler Randerson. Foul ball after foul ball. Over in that ISC 2 loser bracket game, Georgian Bay still hanging on to that 2-0 lead over the Midland Explorers. Kirk Santala on the board for the Explorers. Shales swings and misses on the changeup. A good one down and away from Tyler Randerson to get the veteran Shales. Bruno Matroni walked, scored in the first on the home run by Quentin Bruce. And that really set the tone for this game, really set the Batmen back on their heels and gave a lift in spirits, which was much needed for Hill United Chiefs after last night. That one's going to fall into the seats on the right side. Oh, and that got a bite out of somebody's shoulder. Those hurt if you can't protect yourself on the way down or rely on somebody else. We're going to get some medical attention headed over that way in a moment. Nick White out at second base running for Brad Ezekiel. And upstairs from Tyler Randerson. Shane Boland led off the inning with a fly ball out to left. A long at bat by Brad Ezekiel ended in a single yanked down the third base line. White on to run and stole second. Shales down on strikes, which gets us here to Bruno Matroni. Past Johnny Baker, and Nick White will score easily, so that stolen base certainly comes into play, and Bruno Matroni, the veteran, continues to produce for the Hill United Chiefs at a high efficiency rate. There's guys on base. Bruno Matroni is who you want at the plate to produce an RBI. That one just split Johnny Baker and Ty Sebastian, bounding through the 5.5 hole. Quentin Bruce had a ground out after the home run back in the first. The addition to the Hill United Chiefs lineup this season after a couple of stellar seasons with the Bear Creek Express and excelled through the junior ranks as well with the Owen Sound Selects. Quentin was actually a member of the Hill United Chiefs in 2021. They won the World Championship that year. It was a bit of an odd World Tournament due to some of the COVID restrictions that were in place. But that was a different time and a different place for Quentin Bruce. He was a bench player that year, playing the Nick White role. But he's back here in a starring role, and ground ball into the glove of Ike Whetstone. We'll pick up the Quentin Bruce story on the other side. Hill United Chiefs add to their lead now 5-0. We'll go to the top of the 6th. Toronto Batmen need to get something together. Haven't been able to do it against Ramon Godoy. He comes high-stepping out onto the field. We'll take a break. Come back with us.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful
Mason McKay leading things off for Toronto Batmen here in the top of the 6th inning. Mason yet to reach base, a ground out and a strikeout. Only 4 on the game for Roman Godoy. There's a rise ball. We haven't seen very many of those today from Roman Godoy. It's been a steady diet of drop balls, and it's been a steady diet of ground ball outs for the Toronto Batmen. Strike on the outside corner. Roman Godoy. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Godoy taking his time getting to the board, and that's actually going to be a warning for Roman Godoy. Now Jeff Ellsworth is going to come out. I'm not sure who got there first. Was it the umpire with the warning, or was it Jeff coming out of the dugout? And I guess the question is, everything okay with Roman Godoy? He's doing a little bit of knee flexing there, and he's rotating that right ankle. So the question is the injury timeout, and Godoy is just hoping to wait that out. Well, it didn't seem to bother him on that pitch. Called a strike on the outside corner. Mason McKay rung up here in the 6th. Ty Sebastian, 1 for 2, a double off the right field fence back in the 4th. That was a leadoff double, but he was stranded. And that's really the only guy that's been in scoring position for Toronto. Baker, a single. And Derek Hyde, a walk. Those are the only other base runners for the Batmen. In and out of the glove as Shane Bolin tried to go up the ladder as far as he could to get that hard hit off the bat of Ty Sebastian. But he's aboard and 2 for 3 for Toronto on the afternoon. Corey Way, a pair of ground outs, as Roman Godoy has been a ground out machine for the Hill United Chiefs. In for a strike. Usually Roman has a high strikeout total, often into double digits. Just 5 so far. Shakes 1, finds 1. Just off the inside corner. With the sun out, the breeze has just picked up a little bit as well. As always here this week, it's been blowing out left to right and mostly out. This one is lifted up to right, but Pecker will take 1 step to make the grab. Allen came on defensively for Lucci Biondi an inning ago. That'll bring up cleanup batter Denny Benson. Couldn't get the bat off the shoulder in the 4th. Goes after that first offering from Godoy and fouls it off. This is lifted out to short left. It's a long run for Quentin Bruce. He won't be able to get there, and Denny Benson is aboard with a base hit. The first time this game that Toronto has had two base runners on at the same time. Comes here in the sixth. So Andy Skelton, an opportunity to perhaps drive in a run for Toronto and break the goose egg that Roman Godoy has thrown their way. The single by Benson, just the third hit on the day for Toronto. Ty Sebastian has two. It's actually the fourth because Johnny Baker's got a single as well. But I see an error up there for the Chiefs. It looks like they gave an error on the Sebastian hit to Shane Bolin. That's a tough call. That was a hit in my book, at least. Straight back to the screen, foul ball. Andy, a couple of ground outs like a lot of other guys on the Toronto lineup card. That one just misses downstairs. Miker Pimentel for JB and Justin Schofield for the Bear Creek Express. Two of the harder throwers in the game, so we will see plenty of strikeouts expected in this one coming up. Skelton can't pull back. Chases that rise ball up and out of the zone. Roman Godoy picks up multiple strikeouts for the first time in an inning today. Pushes his total to 6. Toronto strand 2 in the 6th. We'll go to the home half. Hill United Chiefs handily out in front by 5.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
Lenny Villavazzo, Tony Gonzalez, Piplo Lopez for Hill United to face Tyler Randerson. Randerson on in his 4th inning now of relief. Perfect through the first 2, but gave up the singles to Ezekiel and Matroni, which resulted in a run in the 5th. The Chiefs, 5 runs on 5 hits. The Batmen, the scoreboard has them at 3 hits. I've got them at 4. We'll have to see what the official scorekeepers ruled on that Ty Sebastian at bat in the top of the inning here. One ball, one strike to Lenny Villavazzo. Popped up in the first, lined out in the third. Changeup for a strike on the outside corner. Lenny Villavazzo belatedly swings the bat through the zone. 1-2. The young right-handed batter for Hill United came over from JB after a couple of stellar seasons with the West Coast squad. All-world a couple of times. A lot of home runs for Villavazzo. The last 2-3 world tournaments. That one misses downstairs, so let's run the count to full. JB will be in black with the gold trim. The Express all in white with the burgundy trim. Villavazzo fouls this one straight back. Toronto got a lot of compliments on the royal purple jerseys that they've gone on with the gold trim. The best dressed team here this week, Emery Electric Chargers from Victoria over on Vancouver Island. Swing and a miss, good pitch, a hard drop on the outside corner from Tyler Randerson. He's got a lot of fly ball outs today. Just a second strikeout for Randerson. This is Kyle Ezekiel getting in at bat for Tony Gonzalez. First pitch drives that out to left. I haven't seen every Chiefs game, but that's the first I've seen of Kyle Ezekiel here this week. And Josh McGovern, so Jeff Ellsworth going to the bench here in the home half of the 6th with a 5-0 lead. No time like this to get your players on the bench some at-bats that they're going to need as their tournament looks set to continue into Championship Saturday in the feet of Hyde, but Kyle Ezekiel not going anywhere. McGovern split the catching duties with Bruno Matroni virtually all season, and when he wasn't catching, had been the DP. But Piplo Lopez, at least the last couple of games, has taken over as the designated player. McGovern pulls this one into the screen. Been keeping an eye for you on the ISC 2 loser bracket final. Georgian Bay Giants currently up 3-0 on the Midland Explorers. That game's in the top of the 6th, so they're more or less on the same time frame as this one. That one misses upstairs. The winner of this ISC 2 loser bracket final will play the Sydney Tropics from Australia. That'll be scheduled 3 p.m. start time, but I don't think we'll be too close to that. Fouled off by McGovern. 3 p.m. start time for the ISC 2 championship game, and we'll bring you that one here on the ISC network. The Legends playoff round starts this afternoon as well with their, I guess you would call it, round of 8 quarterfinals. The 4 winners will advance to face the division winners and the top second place team. They were given the first round bye. Change up from Randerson, and McGovern swings through for second straight strikeout. Third on the afternoon for Randerson.
Now batting number 59, Alan Pecker.
Alan Pecker came on defensively in the 5th for Lucci Biondi as they split the game between the two of them. Biondi had a bunt single and then flew out to left. Pecker's had a bit of a tough week, certainly by his lofty standards that he has set for himself here in the ISC World Tournament. Been injured most of the year with a deep thigh bruise suffered in a collision very early in the season. Had a great week at the USA Nationals a week and a half ago, was first team All-American. And that is a fair ball down the left side as it hugs the line. Kyle Ezekiel, half a dozen steps around second before throwing out the anchor.
Better for the Chiefs, number 91, shortstop, Shane Boland.
So Shane Boland, 4th plate appearance, 3rd official at bat, depending on the outcome. Randerson in for strike 1. Couple of fly balls on the left side, one to the shortstop, Zach Berg, at the time. Another one to Corey Way out in left. Walked and scored in the first, and it was those 2 walks in the first that preceded the home run by Quentin Bruce that really made a big difference. Line shot and caught by Randerson. He reaches out and snares that one. Real good defensive play and gets a pat on the back from John Hill on his way off. Look at the reflexes here on the replay. On the backhand, too. Great play. Tyler Randerson ends the 6th. We'll go to the top of the 7th. Hill United Chiefs need 3 outs to punch their ticket to Championship Saturday.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game, every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca.
Tony Gonzalez re-entered on defense for the Hill United Chiefs. Top of the 7th inning. They're looking for 3 outs. Ike Whetstone puts a charge into it and making the grab out in right field near the fence. Alan Pecker racing back and reaching out to steal one away from Ike Whetstone. Gives it a ride on this first pitch. Pecker back. And stretches out to make the grab. Cody Skelton off the glove of Lenny Viavazzo, and Skelton thinks about second and then thinks again. Happy with a base hit. Look for a pinch runner, I think, for Cody Skelton. AJ Moses is coaching first, is a good candidate, but well, Cody is vacating the area. Here comes Owen Torrey to run for Cody. So Cody Skelton gives the Toronto Batmen a little bit of life. Derek Hyde will try to continue for the Batmen and takes a called strike on the outside corner. Good pitch from Roman Godoy. Godoy was perfect in the Chiefs' debut on Sunday evening. Hasn't needed to be perfect today. He's just needed to be more than good enough. Only 6 strikeouts, but a slew of ground balls by the Toronto Batmen here into the afternoon. Upstairs, snap throw down from Bruno Matroni. Owen Torrey back safely. One and two to Derek Hyde. Make it 2-2 as that one misses down and out. Godoy shakes, finds one that he likes, and just misses off that outside corner. He's been on and off that corner to the lefties all game long. Three and two to Hyde. Little soft tapper. Gonzalez spins to 2 for 1, and the return throw. Not quite in the area code. Derek Hyde aboard on the fielder's choice, but a nice play, nice turn by Tony Gonzalez. And Peter Labardius, the foul ball magnet, continues to live up to his reputation as another one careens in. So 2 down, Johnny Baker. Hill United Chiefs looking to extinguish the bat signal. Change up, and Baker waves over the top of it. Straight up in the infield, Villavazo in a little tight, but he's been there all game. Baker 1 for 2, a single through the right side back in the 3rd inning, and then popped up to Villavazo in the 5th. And now the Batmen down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Hill United Chiefs trying to advance to championship Saturday. In and out of the glove of Bruno Matroni on the foul tip. Toronto will live another pitch. Justin Schofield and Micah Pimentel You're going to see them coming up on the ISC network about 20 minutes from the conclusion of this one, but some unfinished business still. Johnny Baker and Roman Godoy. Just off the outside corner. Full count to Baker. Two shakes from Godoy, make it 3. Change up, a little multi-hopper to Lenny Villavazzo. Nothing bounces over his head this time. And the Hill United Chiefs will be in the Final Four. For Toronto, a tie for 5th. Their run comes to an end here at the 2024 ISC World Tournament. A top 5 finish for Toronto. A masterful performance by Roman Godoy. Just 6 strikeouts, but a batch of ground balls. Always had it in control. Quentin Bruce set the tone early for the Chiefs with a big 3-run home run. Tony Gonzalez, a solo shot. Bruno Matroni contributes with an RBI. We'll see the Chiefs tomorrow. Coming up, JB and the Bear Creek Express. Then the ISC 2 championship game, and the winner's bracket final, the Gremlins and the Drillers. Thanks for joining us this morning on the ISC Network. Blair Sedford signing off. Peter Labardius coming up. Make sure you stay tuned.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand, so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.